You are watching your award-winning cable access station, Channel 13 and 19, Athol Orange Community Television.
We in this country owe a great debt of gratitude to those who sacrificed their lives so that we could live free. We can start to pay that debt by not forgetting, by remembering what they did and what they stood for.
In Flanders Fields by John McCrae.
In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place. And in the sky, the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard, amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from falling hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
What Heroes Gave by Roger J. Robichaud.
Each don their uniform to be defenders of our liberty, their mission sure, their spirits bright, guard freedom's home, be brave to fight. One final day each faced their call, each gave their best, enduring all. We'll never know what they went through, but know they loved this country true. Deep down inside, we should all feel what heroes gave, their cost so real. We must stay thankful for the gift of freedom through their love. Their loved ones bore the gravest pain, what we cannot know, some now sustain. To God I pray their pain will cease, and each will find long-lasting peace. Remember this from years to year, what heroes gave shan't disappear. We'll never let their special day, their time of honor slip away. These brave fought for a nation free. If not for them, where would we be?
Memorial Day by Michelle Kahn.
As we stand here looking at the flags upon these graves, know these flags represent a few of the true American brave. They fought for their country, as man has through all of time, except that these soldiers lying here fought for your country and mine. As we all are gathered here to pay them our respects, let's pass this word to others. It's what they would expect. I'm sure that they would do it if it were me or you, to show we did not die in vain, but for the red, white, and blue. Let's pass on to our children and to those who never knew what these soldiers died for. It's the least that we can do. Let's not forget their families, great pain they had to bear, losing a son, father, or husband. They need to know we still care. No matter which war was fought, on the day that they died, I stand here looking at these flags, filled with American pride. So as the bugler plays out, taps with its sweet and eerie sound, pray for these soldiers lying here in this sacred, hallowed ground. Take home with you a sense of pride. You were here Memorial Day, celebrating the way Americans should on this solemnest of days.
Freedom's Colors by Roger W. Hancock.
Red is for bravery, bloodshed, and sacrifice. Freedom came with lives, the price. White is for liberty, freedom's purity. Life be free from God's decree. Blue is for justice, as vast as the sky, over freedom's land to occupy.
The Young Dead Soldiers Do Not Speak by Archibald MacLeish.
The young dead soldiers do not speak. Nevertheless, they are heard in the still houses. Who has not heard them? They have a silence that speaks for them at night and when the clock counts. They say, "We were young. We have died. Remember us." They say, "We have done what we could, but until it is finished, it is not done." They say, "We have given our lives, but until it is finished, no one can know what our lives gave." They say, "Our deaths are not ours, they are yours. They will mean what you make them." They say, "Whether our lives and our deaths were for peace and a new hope, or for nothing, we cannot say. It is you who must say this." They say, "We leave you our deaths. Give them their meaning. Give them an end to the war and a true peace. Give them a victory that ends the war and a peace afterwards. Give them their meaning. We were young," they say. "We have died. Remember us."
How to Observe Memorial Day from the website of David Merchant.
The memorial in Memorial Day has been ignored by too many of us who are beneficiaries of those who have given the ultimate sacrifice. Often, we do not observe the day as it should be, a day where we actively remember our ancestors, our family members, our loved ones, our neighbors, and our friends who have given the ultimate sacrifice. Some ways we can observe the day would be by visiting cemeteries and placing flags or flowers on the graves of our fallen heroes, by visiting memorials, by flying the U.S. flag at half-staff until noon, by flying the POW MIA flag as well, by participating in a national moment of remembrance at 3 p.m., to pause and think upon the true meaning of the day and for taps to be played, by renewing a pledge to aid the widows, widowers, and orphans of our fallen dead, and to aid the disabled veterans.
High Flight by John Gillespie McGee, Jr.
High Flight. The poem itself was written by Flight Officer McGee of the Royal Canadian Air Force in September of 1941, shortly before he lost his life in the Battle of Britain. He was only 19 at the time. In a letter to his parents he wrote, "I am enclosing a verse I wrote the other day. It started at 30,000 feet and was finished soon after I landed." His father then was rector of the President's Church, historic St. John's Church in Lafayette Square, Washington, opposite the White House. Pilot Officer McGee was born in China, where his father had been a missionary since 1912, came to the United States when he was in his early teens, attended England's famed rugby school, winning their coveted poetry prize in 1939. He returned to the United States and in September 1940, at age 18, joined the Royal Canadian Air Force, turning down a scholarship to Yale to serve the cause of freedom. He flew his last mission within 3 months of the poem's creation. The original High Flight is preserved as a rare manuscript in the Library of Congress. A copy hangs on the wall inside the entrance to St. John's, where its eloquent lines are read by countless numbers of tourists and other visitors to Washington. The poem. "Oh, I have slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of, wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace where never lark or even eagle flew. And while with silent lifting mind I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.
Hero's Price by Roger W. Hancock.
Sergeant Chapman, soldier, hero. To serve is soldier's sacrifice. Heroes all, soldier's mission. Some will die for freedom's sake. Duty to serve, duty to risk, to run the gauntlet, his life for country. He paid the price for our security, the ultimate cost for freedom's sake. Family's pride, though little solace, sacrificed their son for country. His parents are homeside heroes. Their hearts are torn between grief and pride. The wife and children shall not forget the husband, father they love so well. Sacrifice for us they bear, the solemn grief with pride they wear. Patriot lives cost, born America. Fallen soldier joins freedom's greats. We citizens grieve each price of life. Patriot life paid to secure the USA.
Veteran by Lynn Carey.
This is in memory of my cousin, PFC Antonio Suarez Jr. I was a proud veteran that served my country well. To those that would listen, I had many stories to tell. We fought for America's freedom in faraway places on foreign land. Wherever the battle for democracy raged, America's finest made a stand. We fought for your future and the right to remain free, for we saw what freedom meant to those not blessed with liberty. For you and yours, we would have gladly given our life. We faced the fears and perils of battle. We braved endless turmoil and strife. Please remember us veterans and the sacrifices we made for you. Please share the blessings of freedom. Proudly wave the red, white, and blue.
No, Freedom Isn't Free by Commander Kelly Strong, retired.
I watched the flag pass by one day. It fluttered in the breeze. A young Marine saluted it, and then he stood at ease. I looked at him in uniform, so young, so tall, so proud. With hair cut square and eyes alert, he stood out in any crowd. I thought how many men like him had fallen through the years. How many died on foreign soil, how many mothers' tears, how many pilots' planes shot down, how many died at sea, how many foxholes were soldiers' graves. No, freedom isn't free. I heard the sound of taps one night. When everything was still, I listened to the bugler play and felt a sudden chill. I wondered just how many times that taps had meant amen when a flag had draped a coffin of a brother or a friend. I thought of all the children, of the mothers and the wives, of fathers, sons, and husbands with interrupted lives. I thought about a graveyard at the bottom of the sea, of unmarked graves in Arlington. No, freedom isn't free.
Observations on Memorial Day by Jesse Brown, Secretary of Veterans Affairs.
Memorial Day is a day of opportunity to give thanks for all that we are blessed with. It should also be a day that we rededicate our lives to our country and to America's living veterans and their families in memory of the sacrifices they and others have made. Veterans will gather to honor fallen comrades on this day, friends with whom they shared a foxhole or a meal. Their time together may have been brief, but the bonds were deeply formed. Life and feelings are intensified when there is sharing of hardship and laughter, fear and loss. To properly honor our dead, we must honor our living. The defenders of this nation have fulfilled their obligations to us. It is now our duty to honor all the obligations owed to them. It is a responsibility with which we are all charged to do our best to repay the debt that is owed to those who have presented us with our most precious gift, freedom.
The Bivouac of the Dead by Theodore O'Hara.
The muffled drum's sad roll has beat the soldier's last tattoo. No more on life's parade shall meet that brave and fallen few. On fame's eternal camping ground, their silent tents are spread, but glory guards with solemn round the bivouac of the dead.
A Soldier, written in a Japanese POW camp in Mongolia at great peril to his life by a Bataan Death March survivor, author unknown.
A soldier is a nobody, we hear lots of people say. He is the outcast of the world and always in the way. We admit there are bad ones, from the Army to the Marines, but the majority you will find the most worthy ever seen. Most people condemn the soldier when he stops to take a drink or two, but does a soldier condemn you when you stop to take a few? Now don't scorn the soldier, but clasp him by the hand, for the uniform he wears means protection to our land. The government picks its soldier from the million far and wide, so please place him as your equal, good buddies, side by side. When a soldier goes to battle, you cheer him on the way. You say he is a hero, when in the ground he lay. But the hardest battle of the soldier is in the time of peace, when all mock and scorn him and treat him like a beast. With these few lines we close, sir. We hope we don't offend. But when you meet a soldier, just treat him like a friend.
How We Recall by Roger J. Robichaud.
We recall that day we swore to serve our country to the core. That clothing issue was brought in view of raw recruits. This showed so true. Remembered, hair was cut away. This look for quite a while would stay. Our trek before too long did show new GIs marching, row by row, and them one day emerged from each proud trained troop. In uniform, we followed. We followed orders as we should to do our best. In pride, we served. In peace, some went to war. Brave heroes passed through heaven's door. We cherished friends. We served with us great buddies all. How we discussed so many thoughts will never wane. For what we shared, let closeness reign. Our bond was tight. The best to see for when we served, this had to be the purpose, was to keep you free. God bless the brave, deservedly.
In a Mother's Eyes by Andrew Dean.
The day our flagpole was ready, we had no flag to fly. A mother stepped forward and said, I have a flag with a tear in her eye. It was given to me the day that we laid my son to rest. He was a true blue soldier who gave his life his best. I got a knot in my throat and a chill in my bones. A tear rolled down my face. A mother has lost her son at war. The pain on her face. In a mother's eyes, you can see red, white, and blue. In a mother's eyes, you can see the pain so true. Freedom comes with the cost of sadness and a loss. You can see it in a mother's eyes. When someone puts their life on the line so others can be free, it's a selfish act of courage and love. How thankful we all should be. And when I look at the flag today, I see a whole new meaning. There I see the men and the women who died for her. So in this freedom we can share. In a mother's eyes you can see red, white, and blue. In a mother's eyes you can see the pain so true. Freedom comes with the cost of sadness and loss. You can see it in a mother's eyes. In a mother's eyes you can see red, white, and blue. In a mother's eyes you can see the pain so true. Freedom comes with the cost of sadness and loss. You can see it in a mother's eyes.
The Soldier's Oath. 'Soldier's 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 Oath. '
Memorial Day for all soldiers is embodied in the words of the oath that you first take when you enlist into the service of the country. I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me, according to the regulations of the Uniform Code of Military Justice, so help me God. This oath, taken by each and every soldier, exemplifies the reasons why soldiers do what they do each and every day. Soldiers are defenders of the same principles that made this country great. They stand as patriots to defend and protect the ideas and sentiments espoused in the Constitution of the United States. Soldiers bear true faith and allegiance to that document, and they work and live within the codes of military justice. Soldiers also obey the orders of the President of the United States and the officers appointed over them. These truths are self-evident in the everyday lives of soldiers.
The Promise Kept by Bruce Obermeyer.
Their son was only 2 weeks old. Their daughter's years were 3, when duty called this pilot to the war across the sea. Let's just pretend you're only going on a business trip. Each day we'll write about the things we've done, and then we'll slip a note into an envelope and put it in the mail. You send me yours. I'll send you mine, I promise, without fail. He walked away with pounding heart while fighting back the tears with, "Come home soon, I love you, Daddy," ringing in his ears. They kept that promise, sealed with love some 30 years ago. They sent him tapes and photographs so he could watch them grow. They're married now with children of their own who, at the wall, ask, "Was my grandpa brave?" And Grandma says, "Bravest of all."
Heroes Unaware by Mark A. Wright.
I first saw him on a park bench. I've seen him every day, sitting in a shady grove where my children come to play. Sometimes he feeds the birds and squirrels or whittles little toys. Sometimes he just sits and smiles at the laughing girls and boys. And I never paid him any mind till one day just this year, I noticed that he wore a frown and on his cheek a tear. Well, I asked him why he seemed so down. He looked up, began to say, "I lost half my friends 60 years ago today." He told me of the terror as he fought to reach dry land. By the time the beachhead was secure, half his friends lay in the sand. That was just in one long day. He fought on for 4 years more, and the 60 years from then to now have not dimmed his sights of war. He said they have reunions just to keep in touch and share, and for each comrade who has gone on, they leave an empty chair. Well, his park bench has been empty now, about 6 months or so, and if I never took the time, then I never would have known that sitting on that simple bench with breadcrumbs and little toys was a man who gave his all to guarantee my daily joys. So give thanks to all the men and women who are still here or have gone before and made the highest sacrifice in both peacetime and in war. Because they bought our freedom, paid their own blood, sweat, and tears, then endured the heartache of those empty chairs for all these years. So please do not ignore them or speed by without a care, because you never know when you might pass by a hero unaware.
The Price by Roger W. Hancock.
There is a price for everything. Nothing is easy, nothing free. To be left without wanting, then you must pay the cost. With little price paid and your appreciation lean, value slips away to fade. The desired becomes ignored. If you yearn, if necessity be, work for it and to earn the worth, then care for it that you shall see the appraisal shall not deflate. Freedom comes to everyone if the price be paid with blood. Sacrifice for sake of freedom, it is not easy and it is not free.
It is the Soldier by Charles M. Province.
It is the soldier, not the minister, who has given us freedom of religion. It is the soldier, not the reporter, who has given us freedom of the press. It is the soldier, not the poet, who has given us freedom of speech. It is the soldier, not the campus organizer, who has given us freedom to protest. It is the soldier, not the lawyer, who has given us the right to a fair trial. It is the soldier, not the politician, who has given us the right to vote. It is the soldier who salutes the flag, who serves beneath the flag, and whose coffin is draped by the flag, who allows the protester to burn the flag.
Please join me in a moment of silence as we all remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice.